This is a rafter. This is for water. For water for the cows, the horses. This is also for water here. And this is an end. This is bells for cows. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Whoever turned off the lunch, so you know, okay, we're getting it back on. We want to thank Eberhard and Petra Wolf and Chrissy and Stefan for doing this wonderful presentation. I thought it was very interesting. Now, there's another film. Martin Heiner was a master weaver. And as was told earlier, weaving linen was a very, very important occupation. And in the presentation, you said there was, how many weavers? 90 weavers. Yes, in Vosingen about that time. Certainly Martin Heiner did not bring his loom with him, but when he came to America, he got another loom, and my aunt, she didn't know Martin, but she knew Martin's son, George, and George's wife, Sarah Jane, would use the loom, and she used to weave. So I think Martin taught his wife and also maybe some of his children how to weave. There is a film, and I think it's going to be over here. We'll begin the potluck lunch, and anybody can go over and watch that. It's silent, but I do have a printout of an explanation of each of the steps of weaving, and it's linen. It's weaving linen. Oh. Do you want to show it now? Oh, okay. I wanted to make have a few comments today. I've got just a second. I want to talk about some of the other activities we've done. This is kind of a 5-day reunion. Eberhard and his family came on Wednesday evening, very late, but they wanted to see some of the historical sites in northern Utah. So on Thursday, we went to the Golden Spike Memorial up north by, it's west of Brigham City, and a couple of the Heiner cousins met us up there too. That was very interesting, and then we went to Antelope Island and saw the Great Salt Lake and saw some antelopes and buffalo. I've never seen an antelope on Antelope Island, but supposedly but the wolf family saw them, so I guess it's true. But we saw buffalo. Yesterday, we came here to Morgan yesterday, and Eberhard taught high school. We had a class, the AP European History class. There's 2 sessions, the first period and third period. And so Eberhard and Chrissy did a presentation of a short version of life in Germany in the 1850s to the high school students. Then we came over here to the city office across the street and met the mayor of Morgan, Ray Little, and we had a little get-together, kind of a little ceremony, and there was a gift from Vossingen to Morgan. And then we went to the Historical Association, which is in the library over just behind the city office, and met with the president of the Morgan Historical Association, Linda Smith. Linda said she is. Did you come? She said she wanted to come, but I wasn't sure if she would make it. But she has done a wonderful work of. She pointed out that the Germans are so careful to keep records in history. The Germans are the best historians in the whole world. And Americans were kind of careless about that. We've tear down historic buildings. For example, Martin Heiner built the first rock house in Morgan County. I knew that house. I grew up 2 doors down from that house. And it was getting old. It was getting kind of beat up and decrepit. And I went on a mission in Japan and came back in 1972 to find that Martin Heiner's house had been torn down. Now his son, Daniel Heiner, still has a house, and that's actually got a historical, I think it's a U.S. historical building designation. And on the other side is George Heiner's house, and that was, and then on the other side of George was Amelia's house. So there are 2 or 3 Heiner houses, but we're not very careful in America to keep our history, to keep our legacy. And I think we need to learn, we need to take a chapter from the German heritage and honor our heritage, honor our history, and keep our legacy strong. I think the young people need roots. We need to share this history with our young people and our friends and cousins, because that's what makes an identity for someone. There was a study made in the New York Times. There was an article about a study of teenagers who, what group of teenagers get through crises and hard times in their life better. And they studied different groups. They found that the teenagers, that everybody has hard times. You know, there's deaths in the family, there's loss of jobs, loss of employment, or, loss. But the young people that did the best, that got through those crises the best, were the ones that had strong family ties. They had strong family identity. And those were the ones that, because they knew Grandpa had hard times and he got through it. He lost his job, he lost all his money, and he got through it. I can do it too. So I think this is very important. And I really appreciate what we've learned from our German friends here. I know that Eberhard has been so excited. He wrote the magazine about immigrants overseas. You wrote it with Uta, and it's very well done. They published 300 copies of the magazine in German. And Eberhard asked me, well, how many Heiners want copies? So I sent out a notice to everyone, and we got so much response that they decided to translate it into English and make a second edition. And they made 300 copies in German. We ordered 500 copies in English. It's the first time they've ever published a magazine in 2 languages. So Eberhard is, I think I don't know why you're so excited about the Heiner family. So, what I've done,
Sorry, I'm not a Heiner. But I think today I'm a Heiner. Yes. I think in the moment I'm a Heiner in my heart. Thank you.
Well, I've actually taken a step in that direction. I'd like Petra and Eberhard to come up here, please. And I have printed honorary Martin Heiner family membership certificate. It says, this certifies that Eberhard Wolf is officially adopted into the Martin Heiner family as an honorary member for life. He is entitled to all rights, privileges, and honors pertaining to family membership. He is entitled to attend any Heiner reunion, dinner, party, or event anywhere in the world, and to be welcomed with open arms and accorded the greatest respect. Given at Morgan, Utah, USA, dated this 10th day of October, 2015. I have a certificate for Petra Wolf. Now,
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if anybody has a Heiner reunion anywhere in the world, I've got their email address. We will invite them. They may or may not be able to come, but we want to let them know that they are Heiners now. I want to just talk a little bit about some of the other things that are going on. Yesterday we talked to the mayor of Morgan, and lost my thing. Okay. We found out, tell how organized I am. That's okay. We met, when I went to, when I got in touch with Eberhard and learned about Vossungen, I only went to Waldorf, which is smaller, and that's where Martin Heiner came from. But when I learned more and more about Vossungen, which is where I should have come, I've decided I want to go back to Germany. We tried to organize, well, we'd still like to organize a Heiner group to go to Vossungen and do a presentation on life in America in the 1850s. and
I hope that many Heiners came to Basel. We will hope.
Okay. But we have had several, there's a unique club of Heiners and Heiner cousins that have visited. I only knew of 2 or 3, but we found that Gawain Wells and Joanne Heiner Blood and several others have gone there. Doug Geary is a cousin that visited there. There's actually several people that have been to Vossungen and Waldorf. But I think it was just such a wonderful experience for me. And if you've got a little bit of money, then that would be something. I know that they will welcome you with very open arms. They really take care of the Heiner visitors. But I wanted to just point out, there is a very close relationship of Vossungen and Morgan, Utah. And I'm going to point this out. Vossungen, Germany, in Thüringen, the population is 3,542 in 1910. Morgan, Utah, the population is 3,687. So very close to the same population. The elevation in Vossungen is 886 feet. In Morgan, it's 5,069 feet. Vossungen, the oldest. Well, okay. All right, we'll skip the differences. We'll go to similarity. Vossungen lies in the Werra Valley between the Rhone Mountains on the west and the Thüringen Forest on the east. Well, Morgan lies in the Morgan Valley and the Wasatch Mountains. The name Vossungen comes from an old High German word, Wassen, which means wet, damp grass. So, is there a lot of wet, damp grass in Vossungen? Yeah. Okay, well, that's the reason. Morgan, the name Morgan comes from Jedediah Morgan Grant, who was an early Mormon leader, and he helped to build this valley. Vossungen is the administrative seat of 10 small communities. Who first? Okay, will you come up and read these communities? These names?
Hümpershausen, Riedelshausen, Oepfershausen, Unterkatz, Wahns, Memitz, Waldorf, Walbach, Metzels und Schwaben.
Thank you. You did much better than I did. Good. Morgan, now listen to this. Morgan is the administrative seat of 10 small communities. Croydon, Enterprise, Littleton, Milton, Mountain Green, Peterson, Porterville, Richville, Round Valley, and Stoddard. And so there's all these little communities around the valley, and Morgan's kind of the center. Vossungen is located on the Werra River, which runs from south to north. It goes up north to the North Sea, and that's where they take raft rides up there to get to the port, take off to various parts of the world. Morgan is located on the Weber River, which in German would be Weber River for master weavers. And that runs from east to the northwest. The Vera River in Vosingen has overflowed several times, as you pointed out before. Most recently, it flooded in 2013, and Eberhard sent me a lot of pictures of his flooded neighborhood. And Morgan, the Weber River, has also overflowed several times. 1860, 1906, 1952, 1958, and 1983. The Verabon Regional Railroad runs through the town of Vosingen, and the Union Pacific Railroad runs through Morgan. We have proposed to the mayor, and we talked to the cultural director of Morgan about setting up a sister city organization between Vosingen, Germany, and Morgan, Utah. And I think it's a great idea, and I think we'll pursue that. Anybody that wants to get involved and help, we need all the help we can get to promote some of these actions. I'll talk fast if I can. I wanted to just mention quickly the future of the Martin Heiner Family Organization. We do have a website. We've had 3 reunions now in 2012 because of the excitement of contacting these people from Vosingen. We organized the Martin Heiner Family Organization. I have, and I've been doing research on past. She has been working on a comprehensive history book of Martin Heiner and his children and his grandchildren. It's going to be a 600-page book with color photos, lots of illustrations. She's going to have documents to birth certificates and different documents to verify facts. And she is pretty much done with that book, except she needs the histories and the stories of Martin Heiner's grandchildren. Martin Heiner had 75 grandchildren.